girl. Hey, Sydney girl. Hey, Sydney girl. It is the mom. I am here with this week's Momcast for All American Season 7, Episode 9, Shadowboxing. And you know what? Let's just get right into this episode. It's very entertaining, like always. And I got a lot to say. All right. Okay, let's talk about the intro sequence. So it starts off, Spencer and Darnell are back. They are in the locker room, the one that Spencer provided with his NFL earnings, and he trying to give a motivational speech. First of all, Spencer, I'm not feeling the motivation from the speech, but okay, that's neither here nor there. So he's doing the speech, and at the end, the dudes, he was like, are there any questions? Hands go up. And the question was, pictures? He's like, sure, come on up. Let's take some pictures. But then after that, Khalil is kind of occupied on his phone. And we'll get to that in a minute. So they're taking pictures, they fangirling and all that kind of stuff. And then we move on. But before we move on, what is this? This person is in the audience listening to Spencer and his speech. And I have never ever seen anything like this in my life. You know what? All American, you wild for that. but but then we go to during the speech and the pictures and all of that. Here is Khalil just completely um preoccupied with something going on his phone. And apparently he posted something that was like another W in the books. And then he's got like trolls that are, commenting on his posts, like, the streets got eyes and all this kind of stuff. But my question is this: if this is from the last game, like where he started and all that kind of stuff, he was playing real good. That wasn't no W, boo. That was a F. That was a forfeit. Because as I remember, the Miss Ma'am's referee came and was like, you know what? I'm not having this. This is a forfeit. Nobody wins. So why would you post a W in the books when it was an F in the books? I don't know. That seems like asking for trouble. But if it wasn't that game, then all right. If it was a real W, he won. Way to go. Anyway, he is more concerned with his post on Twitter, and he takes a screenshot and he sends the screenshot to Amina, which is very interesting because he sends it to Amina. First of all, where Amina at? Because last time we heard anything from her, homegirls was gone to Baltimore to see her grandparents to get some information about her mother and all that kind of stuff. So he's sending it out to Amina. I hope she replied because ain't nobody seen sis. Moving on. Now, after that, Darnell Hayes, dapping up Jordan. They glad to see each other. Everybody is, happy. But the people that's doing the hair, Darnell is a nice looking guy. We've always liked Darnell, but Darnell, this hairdo is not for you. It's not. It's really giving split ends and needing a trim and a deep condition. I'm just not. I'm not. Okay, I love you, but I'm sorry. Okay, I'm sorry. We're just going to have to keep going. Next. So we leave from that. And so Spencer is like, okay, he knows he's going to be a dad, right? And he's like, you know what, before um, I get into my dad life, and Layla's not in town. Then we out here getting ready for a game apparently, and apparently Darnell plays in the NFL too. I don't know if I remember that from last season, but okay, good. Everybody's on the come up. So Darnell's playing for NFL, Spencer playing for NFL, Jordan's coaching, all of that. They live in a real good life. And so then they were like, we getting ready to go to multiple strip clubs, a strip club crawl that Spencer has called it. But you know what, Spencer, just no. Y'all don't need to do that. Like I guess they're having a boys' weekend, so that's what they're in. That's what they're coming in for. But at the same time, while they celebrating that and they getting all excited and pumped up, Khalil is sitting over there like somebody done stole his bike. Like I don't. First of all, he can't go to the strip club with them, so I don't really know like what is happening with him sitting over there on that bench looking so sad like a little puppy. Anyway, somebody need to go tend to Khalil because he is not right. So next, Jordan then goes like, you know what? Let's invite Cassius. Cassius Jeremy, like the coach from Beverly, even Darnell and Spencer are both like, why? Like, ain't y'all beefing? Like, why do we need to invite that dude to our boys' night out? Like, that feels like that's going to be a problem from the beginning. And I'm not really sure why you are suggesting it. I guess I don't know. I feel like he's just trying too hard. But you know what? Then Darnell come back with something that was really the truth. He was like, "Y'all is the friendliest folks that I have ever seen in my life," and he ain't wrong because Jordan be trying a lot. Layla was trying a lot. Well, maybe not so much, but Olivia, they are some very friendly folks. So at this point, we just all in this together. And Darnell, you ain't wrong, bro. You right. Good observation. Good observation. Fast forward. So then, okay, so as I cover my eyes, not even 5 minutes into the program, and we already hot and heavy, hot and bothered in the hotel room. Told you this hotel room was not going to be a good idea, but anyway, here they are. Tori, KJ, just getting down with the get down, but to be so everlastingly for real. Okay, whatever. So as we're going along, this is now what your face is looking like. So that really is giving your body's here with me, but your mind is on the other side of town. And well, we might as well stop because you're not even here. So good, way to go. Because Tori, nobody really is here for you and Tori. So naturally, Tori, being the concerned girl that she is, she's like, okay, what's really going on? And you're going to have to be honest with me. So then he proceeds to start talking, and the third word out of his mouth is Amina. Dude, are you crazy? Something is wrong with KJ. Like at this point, I'm thoroughly convinced that he's not altogether there. Okay. But he goes on and starts talking about like Amina, and she ultimately, or Tori just gets mad. Of course she did, because that's crazy. Don't be, her name should not be coming out of your mouth at this point. Like, be so everlastingly for real. So he goes on to explain. He's like, you know what? Let me explain. He confesses that Amina being gone to see her grandparents had him thinking about his own folks back at home. Dude, you could have started with that. Next time, lead with that. Lead with that, and that would make me feel a little bit better. But don't just start going, well, Amina, You can start off with, I'm feeling a little homesick, and just go there with that. Anyway, he starts explaining to her the stuff that he misses about being at home. He gets excited, telling her the story, and she suggests that they hang out. And he's like, "Nah, him and his dad got some plans, and he don't want to hold her up." And she's like, "All right, then we'll circle back later." Back later. Then they start being fast again, child. So whatever. Just can't get past that. Lord, Lord. Next, we flip over to Mrs. Gray's house. Coop is again asleep on the couch. Thank you so much for getting your fade back. And then she's having dreams about what happened with Mo. And when Mo was like, pulled a gun out on her and was gonna shoot, and the whole story. Anyway, so she having a nightmare. So Coop is in the house. Spencer gets to the house. He beating on the door like he the police. He want to come in. And she like, dog, what you want? He like, listen, I got something I want to ask you. And then she like, what is it? And he was like, you know what? Um, we want you to be the godmother to the twins. Okay, time out. Time out. Because who said they was twins? Like, we knew it was a baby, but twins really? I feel like they trying to play off the fact that her and Jordan were twins, but I feel like in genetics, it goes if your mother was a twin, then you might have twins. So I don't know. Either way, there's twins. So she's like, respectfully, no way. I don't want to be your twins godmother. Absolutely not. That was funny because I had no idea she was gonna respond that way. And neither did Spencer, because his face after she told him no, he was like, what? Gosh, Coop. Anyway, moving on from them. Okay, next we have Jordan sending a text message to KJ to tell his dad to come to his house to meet Spencer. Like, Jordan is trying so hard. I don't know what y'all call him, pick me, try hard, whatever. But Jordan is doing the most at this time, trying to be friends and like force the issue with this dude. So now we move on. They're having a conversation, and he's like, "Come on, Dad, let's go. Let's go meet Spencer." And Cassius is like so very jealous of everybody. Like, he's got some real deep seated issues. Like, I don't know. We don't know. We gonna find out what it is. So KJ's like, "Dad, you say you need balance," and KJ, not KJ, but Cassius is like, "We got to keep our competitive edge and all that other garbage." Like, really, really, just give us all a break. It's all a break. Then we move on. Khalil is licking his wounds. He's at the house. He's calling Amina. He's leaving a voicemail. She's not answering the phone. Khalil, take a hint, brother, at this point in time. Anyway, he gets big and bold and bad, and he decides to reply to one of these Twitter posts. And he's like, you know what? Hey, dude, don't get caught slipping. And here go Khalil. I ain't hard to find. So why he gonna just put a target on his back, like, for real? And don't forget, you ain't living out in the streets. You at somebody's house. Like, don't be inviting trouble to the house. See, because that's gonna get you put right out. All right, next they get to the house. Jordan is like, yay, they're here, you brought them. And immediately the trash talking begins, just right away. And then Khalil come over and he's like, what they doing here? And then KJ like, mind your business. And he like, I live here. Oh my goodness. You've been here for 2 minutes and you already just like you own the place. But then Jordan and the coach Cassius, then they get into like something about rankings and the forfeit. And I'm just, at this point, I'm like, Rodney King, can we all just get along? Because I've had enough. We've had enough. It's been since the beginning. Like, let's move on at this point. So now, not only am I like Rodney King, but Spencer is sitting here listening to all this, and he is like, I don't believe this. Like, I don't believe this. These people is crazy. And I'm like, yeah, right, Spencer, these dudes is crazy. He like, this is some mess. Anyway, Darnell, like, we got the reservations, we booked, we ready to go to strip club. Khalil, like, we going to the strip club. Like, no, Khalil, you're not going to the strip club. You need to just chill. First of all, you're not old enough. And then second, Spencer's like, you know what? Now he gonna act like somebody daddy. He like, you know what? We not doing that. So y'all want to act like that? We ain't having that kind of night. We gonna do a boys' night, boys bonding, team building, competitive edge kind of night. And I'm like, okay, that ain't the kind of night you need to have. If they having problems, why we gonna have a competitive edge night? Like I feel like you gonna need some trust falls or some journal writing or some painting our feelings or something. We need to get to the root of the issue. And oh, this is one thing that was funny about that scene when Jordan was like, "We need to go to the strip club because, like, what about all the ladies that's going to nursing school?" And Spencer was like, that's what they got financial aid for." I hollered laughing. That was crazy. Anyway, let's move on. Now, before they get ready to go, he's explaining to them like, you know what? The dudes was like, we really need to go to the strip club because then they start talking about missing their wives and all this pent up energy. And Darnell, like, I ain't got them kind of problems. Y'all got married people problems. That was kind of funny too. And anyway, I don't know why KJ looking at his daddy all sideways because he literally was working his pent up energy out in the hotel room, like in the first 5 minutes of the show. So KJ be so for real. Oh my gosh. Anyway, moving on. So then then Spencer is like, instead of going to the strip club, we going to the arcade. Okay, for real, what are we 12? Like when he said arcade, I just had to laugh. I just laughed. He was like, no, we going to the arcade. And y'all gonna have to partner up, of course, with your nemesis and not who you want to partner up with, like your own home squad. Anyway, moving on. So then, before they go off to the arcade, he got to go by and check on Coop. And Coop is really looking like somebody auntie, like, and she in her emo phase, like she real in her feelings right now. And so, he tried to tell her like, Coop, you gotta dig deep, really, really find out like what was going on in the inside, and then you'll figure out what you want to say to Amina, and not just for Amina, but for yourself. Like you need to just do this because you just need to do this. So that's what he had to say to her. Then we get some clips from the first season, and she's like listening to herself and all this kind of stuff when he told her that she was the reason he got shot, and she was just like, I can't believe this, I can't believe this. And so, you know what? At this point, Coop, honey, call a professional. You know what? Seek the Lord, counseling, therapy, deliverance, healing. Yanla, you gonna need some help, and you sitting in this house is not really gonna find you what you need. All right, not us going to Chuck E. Cheese. Like Dave and Buster's, this is what this is giving. And well, okay, good wholesome fun. So they got to do a shootout, and the winner of the shootout was Team Corey. And then the next activity was axe throwing. But before they get to axe throwing, Khalil and KJ having a conversation, and he like, dude, I feel like that dude checking me out. Okay, first of all, this guy got on a do rag and a plaid shirt at Dave and Buster's. Like, you look like a gangbanger, and I know you checking me out. Like, how obvious could you be? And Khalil, like, not Khalil. KJ was like, nah, man, he ain't checking you out, bro. Yes, he is. Okay, yes, he is. Now, then they move on to axe throwing, and Khalil and KJ win the axe throwing because they finally like get their own rhythm, and he give them some advice. They figure it out. Coach and Jordan, no, they still at each other's throats. And at this point, Darnell and Spencer are like, why did we give them axes? I don't know. Moving on. So Coach is at the he like at the concession stand. He just in his thoughts and in his feelings, and Spencer go over to kind of peep him out, like, hey dude, it's what is what. And then he was like, congratulations at Beverly. And he like, did you leave Beverly? And he was like, well, South Crenshaw is my home, and that's where I was raised, and they got a special place in my heart. And then then he just like go off on some other stuff, and we don't know what's going on with him. And at some point we're gonna have to find out what are these unresolved issues, because boo, you just bringing them over too many times over to every situation that you know run into. So just like I told Coop, you're gonna need to seek the Lord, find you some deliverance, find you some therapy, get you a trained professional, call a yanla, and get you some help. Moving on. Then we go to the last event, which is laser tag. The bros is having a good time. They're like, yeah, yeah, it's cool, it's cool. They, talking about some stuff they used to do when they was a kid, blah, blah, blah. Then KJ get a text message. He like, oh, Amina needs something. See, this is the second time he didn't call Amina name when he don't need to call her name. He don't have to just keep calling her name, especially with people who don't want to hear her name in his mouth. What's wrong with that boy? Just when I think like he growing up, he gonna do something dumb like this. Why? That just wrecked it. You just wrecked it, Erica. You just wrecked the whole day. You just wrecked it. Here go Auntie Coop again with these pictures and these photographs. Like I'm like Ed Sheeran. I I saw you in a photograph, and oh boy, yeah. So she deep down memory lane. But now here's what I don't get, and I'm gonna pull up that map one more time, cause how we get from Chuck E. Cheese to South Crenshaw to the house? Like, when did he leave? When did he go to check on Coop? Like, I don't understand what is the time frame. So the time and the maps and the distances are the things that's not coming together for me here. Like, I really don't understand quite how this is happening. But she deep down memory lane. She doing her work. She putting her work in. That's what she doing. How Spencer teleported there, I don't back up though. So Khalil start running his mouth about like, you know what? Um, he mad. And then KJ like, you stay mad. And then, well, this is what Khalil was mad about. Cause Cassius said something off to Jordan. He was like, oh, you got a silver spoon. You don't need the tickets because you could just buy your own. And then here go Khalil. Oh, bro, you just mad because you broke? Then KJ got mad. KJ tried to, clap back. And then he was like, you know what, dude? I owe you a whooping from like episode 2. And he was like, I owe you one from episode. I got a lick back coming on you. And so KJ was like, he was big and bold. He decided he wanted to push dude. And it was getting ready to be on. And that's when Spencer and them come running back in. Like, I was like, oh my goodness. And how he got there, again, we just don't know. I don't know. Anyway, by the time he get back, it's on and popping. And how he get there like right at the nick of time. Like Darnell was like, man, we was having a good time. Like, I don't understand what happened. We was having a good time. Spencer get there right when the fight break out. Okay. Here go Daddy Spencer stopping everybody. Cash is looking at him like, why your hands on me, bro? And he give his, Spencer speech like only he can do. So y'all need to be acting like the grown-ups and not like the kids. And they move on. Then back at the house, the coach swallows his pride, say, you know what? Sorry, son, I should be more of an example. One of these days, you know what? We're going to figure out what happened to this guy, because something has happened and it's about his past, and he needs that healing. He needs Yanma. He needs to seek the Lord, deliverance, healing, restoration. That's what he needs. And KJ is like, all right, Dad, because he's a good son. Then they have the same conversation with Jordan. Give yourself some grace. They talk about how Billy Baker was like 40 years old. He's like, Jordan, you just graduated from college. Um, Darnell's like, yeah, Corey was in his 30s when he got me. So, you know what, dude, you all right. You there. Then they was like, wait a minute. Where KJ? Not KJ. They was like, where Khalil? How they done forgot the boy? Like, it's a bus with 6 people on it, and one person ain't on there, and you trying to tell me you got all the way to the house, and you realize that he's not there? Like, be so for real. Then Khalil's back at Chuck E. Cheese, and now the squad has rolled up on him. He said, "Don't get caught slipping." He was like, "Dude, I told you ain't hard to find." And I'm like, "You really not finna try to have a fight here at Chuck E. Cheese? Like, for real? That's not what we getting ready to do." And then, like no one else can do, Spencer comes in with the squad, and everybody's like, "You gonna have a problem with me? You have a problem with me? You gonna have a problem with me?" None of them from the hood. They from Oakland. Corey not even from South Crenshaw. He not from none of them places. Jordan is from Beverly. So I don't know what they thought they was gonna do against some gangbangers. Anyway, Spencer come in, he throw out a name. You know what? I'm gonna talk to Flip them, and whatever this beef is, y'all need to squash it. You got that, homie, partner? And he like, yeah, man, we ain't gotta deal with this now. He like, we gonna deal with it never. It's over. Squash is done, right? Period. And he was like, yeah, whatever, man. And then they leave. Okay, so we better now. Khalil and KJ done kind of made up. Um, and KJ was trying to give Khalil some advice, but he was like, you got to be there for her and all this other kind of stuff. He was like, I am there for her. And I don't know, but just something about that advice that KJ gave, 2 plus 2 wasn't really making 4. But we'll see as time go on about with that. Tori, Tori, honey, this ain't it. That no, that ain't it. That ain't the karaoke for you, boo. That ain't it. Just no. Okay, so Cassius and Spencer have a heart to heart. He give him some fatherly advice. He compliment him on, raising KJ, and they have a dap them up. They good now. They good. Then Tori, she was all right in the scene. She kind of showed KJ that he does have a village. He's not there by himself. And everybody's like, playing a role in the community. So that's nice. Then, they make up, and Khalil apologized for like the gazillionth time. I'm so tired of hearing him saying he's sorry. Then he said he got somewhere to go. So in this scene, Auntie Coop is getting a dose of her own medicine when Khalil is like, what? I feel like I'm just a cancer, messing up everybody's life, but I'm just trying to do the best I can. And he like, oh, kind of like you. And then the light come on for her, and she's like, ooh, Eureka, I got it. And then Coach Cassius get the rankings, and Beverly's out on top, but he don't tell nobody because don't nobody care but him. He the only one that care. Anyway, then they decide they were going to do karaoke to break the tie from the game night. And at this time, your boy is up there being Luther. A chair is still a chair. He really trying to sing. And I'm wondering if that's really him because it kind of sounds like his voice. But then at the same time, I don't know. But this is really looking like a little like Star Search and like Carlton from Fresh Prince. So kind of cringe, but it was sweet. She was sitting there. She was, yeah, it was sweet. Okay, or whatever. And then we end up with Coop coming out of the house finally. She out of her emo phase, and she tells Spencer that she gonna be the godmother. She figured out she need to forgive herself. She gonna tell Amina everything, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. So help her, and all is well. They dap it up, and she's like, I need tickets to the game. So at this point, everybody need to go to the game together. Show goes off. End scene. So that is it for this episode, Shadowboxing. It was exciting. It was a lot going on. Looks like we're going to have to wait a week until the 15th for the next episode, but that is fine because this was a lot. The title of it is Just a Friend. I'm not even going to look at the preview just yet because I already kind of know where this is going in my head. We done took 2 steps forward. I hope we're not getting to take 3 steps back, but it remains to be seen. But anyway, girl, that's it for Mom and this Momcast. All right.